Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Salamangreat Yugioh deck profile for post Chaos Impact. Wanted to do an update to the Salamangreat deck with the release of Chaos Impact. We had a lot of cool support for the Salamangreat deck, including the new Link 4 Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix, which really does help to add offensive power for the extra deck for this deck. I really do like the results that came out of it. I also main Salamangreats a good while of the time at locals, so I always like updating the deck with the new cards we have for it as well. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for starters, some of the basics for the Salamangreat deck, since the deck has been hit pretty hard with the past couple ban lists. I run 3 Salamangreat Foxy. When this card is normal summon, you can activate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add one of the excavated Salamangreat cards to your hand, shuffle the rest into the deck, and if this card is in your graveyard and a face-up spell or trap is on the field, you can discard one Salamangreat card to special summon this card, and then destroy one face-up spell or trap on the field. You can only use one Salamangreat Foxy effect per turn only once that turn. But with Foxy, you have the search option for the top 3 of your deck, which comes with consistency, being able to open up a bunch of different Salamangreat cards, and then if you have any of your searchers in your hand, you're then able to use those searchers after you get the required card you got off of Foxy, so then you know what play to go for afterwards with the searchers you may have in the deck. And then its special summon effect from the graveyard is just an added bonus, being able to then destroy a face-up spell or trap in the field. It can be even your opponent's, which is a big boost for sure, so definite 3 of in the deck for sure. Another 3 of being Salamangreat Spinny. Spinny is just an easy special summon from the graveyard. If you control a Salamangreat card, you can discard this card and target one face-up monster on the field. It gains 500 attack until the end of this turn. If you control a Salamangreat monster other than Salamangreat Spinny, and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Salamangreat Spinny once per turn. Just an easy special summon from the graveyard. It's a big boost when you go for your Exceed play into Salamangreat Mirage Stalio, and also just giving that power boost, whether it be to your opponent or one of your cards. It's just a great way to set it up in the graveyard to reuse. And then for some of the one-ofs in the deck, I run the one Salamangreat Gazelle, the biggest hit we probably took to the deck. Gazelle just made up so many of the plays. If Salamangreat monster is sent to your graveyard, except Salamangreat Gazelle, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Salamangreat card from your deck to your graveyard, except Gazelle. You can only use each effect of Gazelle once per turn, but the setup in the graveyard can be for any of your Salamangreat monsters or even one of your spell or traps, which then you can easily add back to your hand with cards like Sunlight Wolf or even your Falco. You name it, very, very useful for sure. I also run one Salamangreat Foul, along with being able to shut down some set spells your opponent have. It has the easy special summon if you normal summon or special summon a Salamangreat monster from your hand, just giving you another additional monster on the field, since a lot of times your opponent may take out one of your monsters on the field with Effect Veiler and then shut down your plays, especially if you open up Gazelle and then don't have anything else to go off of. Foul in your hand just definitely helps to extend your plays. One of the best ones from the graveyard also is Salamangreat Jaguar. Just an easy special summon by shuffling back a Salamangreat into the deck, and also having the piercing if it attacks a defense position, but just setting Jaguar up in the graveyard, then having resources to shuffle back each turn gives you an easy special summon that you can use to extend your Link plays, or even go for a rank 4 Exceed play with some of the other level 4 Salamangreat or other level 4 monsters we run in the deck. And lastly, for the Salamangreat monsters, just the one Salamangreat Falco. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Salamangreat spell or trap in your graveyard, set that target on your field, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can target one Salamangreat monster you control, except for Falco, return that monster to the hand, and if you do special summon this card, you can only use one Salamangreat Falco effect per turn, only once that turn. The fact that it's once per turn is the one thing I hate about Falco. You can either use one or the other. If it was both, it'd be a really amazing card for sure, but that set effect is the one thing I like the most about this card, just being able to reuse my spell or traps, whether it's Will the Salamangreat or Salamangreat Roar. Most of the time for sure, it's a big help, especially in the deck. And then for some of the non-Salamangreat Cybers monsters, I run 3 Flame Buffalo. If this face-up card leaves the field, you can discard one Cybers monster. If you do, draw 2 cards. You can only use this effect of Flame Buffalo once per turn. So it gives you the graveyard setup. If you discard Jaguar for the effect, it puts a Jaguar in your graveyard to use, and also gives you the draw power. If you make Battle Links, you can search the field spell off the Battle Links, then get the draw 2, so you won't draw the field spell, but still have plenty of search to your hand. Using Buffalo to go into Battle Links is the main play I always do with this card. And also as a little added backup for the Link plays, I run 2 Sea Archiver. With this one, if a monster is normal or special summoned to a zone a Link monster points to, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the summon resolved, or hand even if not, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use this effect of Sea Archiver once per turn. Just another great way to have 2 level 3s on the field to go into a Mirage Stelio for your Exceed plays, or if you just need that one more Link monster play, Sea Archiver definitely does come in handy to help with those as well, just being an easy card to special summon onto the field. And for the one of, still just like Gazelle, Lady Debug, still 1 on the ban list. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 level 3 or lower Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Lady Debug once per turn. It searches the majority of the Cyberse monsters we run in the deck. Whatever you need for your play, Lady Debug definitely does help with that, but sadly still at 1. It is searchable with other cards in the deck like Signet Mining, so there's that at least, but like I said, definitely did take a hit with the deck being at 1, but still enough to work with since it wasn't completely banned off of the list. And then for just a little extra hand trap power, I run 3 Ash Blossom, Enjoy Spring, just the generic search to stop your opponent's plays, being able to stop cards from being sent or searched to the hand or sent to the graveyard. And I also like to run, just for the amount of decks at my locals, 3 Nibiru, the primal being. If you don't have Nibiru and want to go for another hand trap route, you can try 3 Effect Veiler. Just this hand trap lineup definitely does come in handy, but only if you're going up against the majority of decks where there's a lot of summoning on the field. But Ash Blossom is good in any kind of deck. But like I said with Nibiru, if you want to go Ghost Ogre, Effect Veiler for the last 3 fill-up spot, you could try that out as well. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. Once again with the one-ofs. 1 Salamangreat Circle, the searcher for the deck, or the card that can protect your Salamangreat monsters. A quick play card. Even though it's at 1, it's still, recyclable from the graveyard with cards like Falco or Sunlight Wolf, so definitely have that bonus to go off of with this card. Even as long as you open it up early game, you can recycle it, which is one thing I love about it for sure. And another important card of the deck, I run 3 Signet Mining. Just send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 level 4 lower Cyberse monster from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Signet Mining per turn, whether you set up Jack Jaguar or Sea Archiver in the graveyard or any of your Cyberse Salamangreats like Spinny. It's a big benefit being able to search out either Lady Debug, Gazelle, you name it, the one-ofs in the deck that can help our plays a lot more. That's why I like to run the 3 Signet Mining. If you don't have Mining, you could try out cards like Signet Backdoor for a more budget-friendly build, but the card definitely does help oodles in the deck for all the different plays you can do. And then for some of the one-ofs, I run 1 Salamangreat Transcendence and 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary. I was testing out the Transcendence. I ended up liking it a lot in the deck. You target 1 Salamangreat Link monster you control, special summon 1 Salamangreat Link monster with the same name from your extra deck, using that monster you control as the entire material. This tree has a Link summon. You can activate 1 Transcendence per turn, along with Sanctuary giving you the Reincarnation Link summon plays. Transcendence being a quick play during the battle phase gives you that attack again, so very, very useful. And the fact that it is searchable, being a Salamangreat Spiral Trap, is another added help for sure, being able to send it to the graveyard and then reset it up there as well. Just the one-ofs though, since you have that option available to you with the deck. And I also run 2 Will of the Salamangreat. If you're not a big fan of the Transcendence play like I am, you can try putting in a 3rd Will. If you open up 1 Salamangreat monster and Will of the Salamangreat, you have a Link to play at least to go into Sunlight Wolf, first Battle Links, then set up Sunlight Wolf, and then go for your Reincarnation Link play using Salamangreat Sanctuary on the field. So Will definitely becomes an important part of the deck just because of the hits we've taken with the deck as well. So like I said, if you want a 3rd copy added in, the Salamangreat Transcendence is the best thing to take out for that option. And I also run 3 Call by the Grave to finish off these spells in the deck. Just another great way to make sure your plays go off, since you do have a lot of cards that need to be set up in the graveyard, which your opponent can easily shut down with hand traps. So 3 Call by the Grave is definitely staple in the main deck. And then for the traps, I run 1 Salamangreat Roar, just being a major powerhouse counter trap in the deck, being able to stop your opponent's cards just by controlling a Salamangreat Link monster. And when you Reincarnation Link summon, you can set this card from your graveyard onto the field, just banish it when it leaves the field, but still that reset power definitely does come in handy if you don't have Sunlight Wolf or Falco to reset it. I also run 2 Salamangreat Rage, just being a good card to pop cards on your opponent's field, so very, very useful for those plays as well, depending on the type of Salamangreat cards you use or the Link monster you control. And also, to finish off the trap lineup, I'm still a big fan of the 2 Crackdown in the deck and the 2 Solemn Strike. If you're not a fan of Crackdown, just being able to take your opponent's resources, you can try putting in 2 Solemn Judgments or try 1 Warning and 1 Judgment. Anything, I would go for the 2 Judgments beforehand. You don't really use your life for much else in the deck aside from the Solemn lineup, so there's that option to go for with the deck. And then that is it for the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck, I run 3 Salamangreat Duel Links. This is a card that protects your Salamangreat cards in the field by banishing it from the graveyard, and the Searcher by adding Salamangreat Sanctuary from your deck to your hand when it is Link Summon. So just having this card set up in the graveyard, being an easy Link monster to make it, also gives you options to set up some Salamangreat Link monsters on the field, and then giving you more monsters in the graveyard to use as well. I also run 3 Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf, just being the recycler from your graveyard, being able to add back fire monsters, including Ash Blossom in the deck when a card is summoned to an arrow it points to, and when you reincarnation link summon a Sunlight Wolf, you're able to add back a Salamangreat Spire Trap from your graveyard to your hand once per turn. All in all, very, very strong. I'd say it's one of your main link plays to go into for sure, just having that setup power. And I also run 2 Salamangreat Yugioh to finish off the Link 3 lineup for the Salamangreat monsters, just being the shuffle back effect. It was one of the main Salamangreat monsters we began with in the deck. Having that effect and the shuffle back power definitely does help with a lot of the plays. But our new boss monster being Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix. You want to run 2 of this in the deck just for the reincarnation link play. I have the Boral Sword in here for now until I get a second copy, but with this one you need 2 or more fire effect monsters to make it, so you don't need 3 like the Boral dragons to make it. So if you have 2 Sunlight Wolf on the field, that is your play right there for this card. If this card is Link Summon, using Salamangreat Pyro Phoenix as material, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. You can only use each effect of the following of Pyro Phoenix once per turn. You can target 1 Link monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your opponent's field. If a Link monster is special summoned to your opponent's field during the damage step, you can target 1 of those monsters and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. So along with the burn damage, the reincarnation link effect is definitely one of your go-to plays, being able to destroy everything on your opponent's field, and you can easily reincarnation link summon this card in the deck as well. So you definitely need to have 2 of spot for the deck to play it well, and just have the consistency. It's very easy to summon out with the requirements for the card as well. For added link support, just the 1 Transcode Talker, the 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and the 1 Heat of the Fire Charmer to finish off the link monsters. And then for the Exceed monsters, I run 1 Abyss Dweller when you can make the rank 4 plays. I definitely found this one to be a true good card, just being able to shut down your opponent's graveyard, and the 1 Mirage Stelio being a key staple in all of these Salamangreat decks as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'm not sure when the next Salamangreat update's going to be. I think we got a good majority of the support so far, but until then, definitely look forward to it. And until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.